Hey, I mean, we can go live and do stuff at the same time, don't you think?
No, probably not.
Oh, you're not going to believe what I forgot to do. I forgot to even put on my stupid headphones. Because, hey, welcome to Play for Time. It's our show that we've done. And we've done versions of Backpack Show Play for Time for years. Kerry O'Shea Gorgone, now that you could be the host, even if you wanted, tell me a little bit about what you've been doing and what did we do and what are we going to bring to this episode?
Well, if we don't upload the clips, we're not bringing anything to this episode. But I will tell you that this past weekend, we went out to Western Mass because I love used bookstores. And there's this incredible one that's in an old grist mill. It's called the Montague Bookmill, like you would expect. And it's got reportedly 40,000 books in it. Now, I didn't count them, but there's like tons of nooks and crannies, and they're not organized. I mean, they're organized like by kind of general area, but they don't have a database you can search or anything. So like if you're looking for a particular title, it's anybody's guess whether you find it. But it's so much fun if you're a book nerd like me and you just want to kind of get lost in it. So I found the trek rather enjoyable. And on the way, we came across a really unusual candy shop. And I am a chocoholic. So I don't know. So I really enjoyed the excursion. We're going to get the clips up here in a second. But in the meantime, talk to me about what you found the experience to be like.
I had a really super good time. But hey, I wanted to demo something for us. Let's see if this works.
Together from clips of film made under a research program in computer. The images are arranged to illustrate this talk, which will be an attempt to suggest some of the formal problems that hold my interest regarding design in motion.
That was 26 seconds when you say very long. So maybe it's very long for, the way we normally do what we do, but that was 26 seconds. That's not horribly long. Do you think? Want to hear it again? You want to see it one more time? Let's go through it. 27 seconds. Ready? I'm doing it again.
Together from clips of film made under a research program in computer. The images are arranged to illustrate this talk, which will be an attempt to suggest some of the formal problems that hold my interest regarding design in motion.
All right. So things happened. I was busy making that intro to see if we liked it. I like it. And I didn't upload the clips for the show. So I'm going to soft pedal and do that while Kerry uploads clips for the show. We took a trip out to Western Massachusetts this past weekend, and I have not ever gone out there. We were like 3/4 of the way. So Massachusetts, the way it's set up is kind of like, I'll use my water bottle here for an example. Top of the state is right up here. We're up here normally, kind of right up by New Hampshire. And then there's down this way, kind of Cape Cod and all that stuff. That's where Kerry's from. And then you go west, kind of like you're going to go through Connecticut and get to New York City. And the state goes this way, like west, for hours. You could go almost 2 hours left and show up somewhere. So we went out to Western Massachusetts, and Kerry, as she said in the intro, was that she likes to watch, she likes bookstores, used bookstores, which we both do. And she had it in her mind to go out to this place for a really long time. It's called the Bookmill out in Montague, Mass. Thing is, there's no other reason to be out there. Like, if you go out there to do this particular thing, there's no other reason why you would go out that way. And so because of that, it's a scenario where you could basically, you can go there to go to that book mill. You can go there like on the way through to New York City, but then you kind of maybe wouldn't get off the highway to do that. So there's a lot of reasons why you would come into a scenario where you would not find your way out there. But what's kind of fun about that is, and by the way, I got 2 books. I only have one of them at the table next to me here. But what's kind of fun about that is you go there without sort of a real set idea in mind of what you want to get. And so, and when Kerry comes back on, she's going to talk about a friend of hers who is the opposite. He is forever hunting a particular great white whale of his that he wants to find at a used bookstore. He even has rules to what he wants to find at the bookstore. What I got was in the memoirs and journalism section. Scott Simon from NPR's Weekend Edition has a book called Home and Away, and it's a memoir set kind of thematically around growing up a baseball fan in the Chicago area with his dad. And I could give a rat's ass about baseball, but it's interesting to hear sort of the family setup experience. So I find that part exciting. Kerry, I don't know if you can jump in, because I know you're also in the process of uploading at the same time, but okay. So I'm accepting these files. Cool. I'll do that. Do you want to talk about your friend who has the other thingy?
So yeah, this is fun. They won't upload. I don't know why. So anyway, getting them back over to Chris so he could do something with them. I have a friend named Keith Jennings, and Katie Robert and I interviewed him for our show about hobbies, because his hobby is hunting very specific used books. I asked him about it. He was like, it's not really a hobby. It's not like something that would be of interest to people. It's not that complicated. I just like look around for used books. But he has rules, which is why it was so interesting. So Keith goes to used bookstores all over the world. Like a lot of marketing folks, he does travel some for work. He'll go through and he looks for something very specific. His white whale book, for example, is Jerry Lewis's The Total Filmmaker from 1971 with the paper jacket. Like, he wants a very specific thing. The rules are you cannot look it up on any database if they have one. You cannot ask the people who work there for help. You either come across it or you don't. If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. So it's very interesting. So now every time I go to a bookstore, I have to text him again, because half the time I can't remember which book it is he's looking for. And I ask him, hey, what's the book? I'll take a look around. If it's organized by topic or anything at all, I will take a look and see if they have it. This last one at the Bookmill in Montague, Mass, they did not have the one he wanted. They had 2 other books by Jerry Lewis, which he already has. So, but it's like way more involved than he made it sound to begin with.
So the funny part of this story that I only just now am receiving is that, I was outside. Kerry says, hey, I'm going to go back in and see if I can find that book. I'm like, yeah, cool, whatever. And I'm outside, and it's not super cold, but, it's kind of chilly, and I'm an older gentleman. And so next thing you know, I'm like, where in the earth has she gone? Like, time is passing. Swaths of time are passing. And I'm like, what are you doing in there? I did not realize the rules stipulated that you didn't, like, you couldn't ask anyone for help, because I'm male. So the very first thing that I would absolutely do is go in and look for some help. So I found that kind of funny insofar as doing that. The other experience I wanted to talk about while we're stalling for time here to play for time, literally in this case, the videos are uploading for me now. So the other thing I can tell you about, though, in this process was when we went out that way, what we sort of inadvertently ran into there are so many people who are huge fans of this area. And so, for instance, we stopped in a little town called, there were 2. There was Turner's Falls and Miller's Falls. That's how it went. Miller's Falls had this incredible breakfast place that I kind of wish we'd made a segment, but it wouldn't have been a great place to do a segment, because you walk through the door, everybody sort of knows everybody else. But, there's a thing that happens when you go to a place like that where you feel like, oh no, I'm encroaching on somebody's territory. And that didn't happen. And there was like guitars and banjos and stuff on the wall, which seemed like an affectation, like, oh yeah, it's an old timey place where you can have fun, until this woman ripped a guitar off the wall, kind of an older lady, right out of the 60s casting, 60s protester kind of lady, and started batting out a song. What did you think of that experience, that breakfast place where we stopped for lunch?
The breakfast place where we stopped for lunch. They have breakfast and lunch the whole time they're open, so you can get whatever you want. My experience was colored a little bit because the place is very small and every seat was taken except for the booth that was directly in the sun by the front window. So I was like in this blaze of sunlight, and my eyeballs got seared. But I will say this, when I turned around and shaded my face to get a good look at the inside, it was super cute. It was like it was clearly the place in town that people pop into for really good food and some chat. Like you could hear people just kind of catching up on local events and stuff like that. And it was all nice. It was all positive. I don't mean to say that they were like gossiping and it was some kind of like, I don't know, coffee clutch or something. It was very nice to hear what's going on with so and so, and there's this new event and everyone's all excited and so is doing well. Like it was really uplifting actually. So I loved it, and I had a really good burger while we're on the topic.
I had breakfast at a hobo something or other. I don't know. It was the most food you could get for a breakfast meal. It was crazy town. All right. So the Montague Bookmill. This is fun. It's just a little walk around this place. Kerry and I have very different opinions of what we can and can't do in these moments to photograph. Like she just wanders in, starts hitting record on everything. And I walk around looking nervous and surreptitiously taking photos. So we got a great little setup out of this, edited by Dan, who is just back from a trip himself.
We're at the old Montague Bookmill in Montague, Massachusetts. It's a kind of a farm paper mill sort of looking thing. It's down by the river. There's like a really active river here, so I think this was an active mill during the day. It's now a bunch of used books, and it's everywhere. There's all kinds of books. It's art and fiction and politics and just all different kinds of books, and you could really find something for everyone in here. And the only thing a little more fun than a library sometimes is you can take the books home.
Leaving, so spoon.
Dork.
I'm such a child. You could tell even by my really low voice, I'm like, it's a quiet little bookstore. We can't be like, hello, the Montague Bookstore today. But what a fun place. Lots and lots and lots of books, lots of, what I always think about in a place like that is that it's used books. You don't have a whole lot of room, and there's still such a swath of things that you can see and pay attention to and be into. What details did we miss? What else didn't I cover?
So they, I love the little book nerd couple crouching down when they went through this bookshelf. It was really cute. There were a couple of things that didn't make the cut when Dan did the edit, but you should, if you're ever up for an adventure or just for some reason in the area, should definitely stop by the book mill, because there's so many little things in it. Like it's impossible. You could sit there for a lot longer than we just did and have interesting things to look at. There was this, I think it's like a drafter's bureau or something where they put usually architectural drawings in. So it's these long, wide, flat kind of drawers. If you open the drawers up, because of course I do, because I'm nosy, they're empty except for these chalk etchings people put in it. It's like when you carve your initials into a tree, but instead couples and people will come and leave their mark on the inside of these drawers. Like nobody said that. There's no sign saying to do that. There's not even any chalk. I don't know how they did it, but it's there. Every drawer has some in it. So there's things like that. There's this one grate that if you look down from the upper floors, you can see directly into the lower level and see people shopping. It's just a really cool spot. There is a cafe like right there, but we both, for whatever reason, were like, nah, let's go through that little town we drove into and check out a place there. And I'm glad we did. So I loved everything about it. It was a beautiful drive to get there. The area is really cool to see. The roads are a little bit like old and really sharp curves and stuff. So just be aware, like you'll feel a little bit like you might die, but you won't. You'll be fine.
So the bookstores in Montague, there's Turner's Falls, there's Miller's Falls, and then there's a town called Erving. Now, by the way, I'm doing this almost in reverse order. I'm doing it almost as if you came from New York to check it out. We saw it the other way. We went Erving to Miller's to Turner's to Montague. And along the way, I mean, I took a bunch of photos. They were such like cinematic kind of photos. They're like a real Americana feeling. Bridges, covered bridges, old mill buildings that are long gone. And we stopped in Erving as well. And I mean, what goes great with books? Chocolates. And Kerry saw this place. And when I say Kerry saw this place, when you see this place, people from space can see this place. It's like bright light purple. It's a depot station, and train depot stations that are preserved in America are beautiful, and you can set up really kind of nice, fun businesses in them. And we stopped by and talked. Now, the nice lady who ran it, it's her mom. They're kind of the real partners, and then her daughter also helps a little bit as well. So it's like a 3-generation scenario. She didn't really want to be on film, so we had a kind of a fun experience, but she didn't really want to be covered. But we still bothered the heck out of her in her store and looked at a lot of cool stuff. So let's take a look at Erving Station.
She liked us. She gave us a free sample of some, what were they, like cordial cherries or something?
Yeah, cherries with some kind of liquor in them. They were delicious. So.
So we have the great opportunity to stop by Erving Station, which for a very long time was a diner, but is now even better because it's a chocolate place. Homemade, mother, daughter, and other daughter. So it's mom, grandmom, and kid. And it is super cool. Handmade stuff, incredible chocolates. But get this, this is not St. Patrick's Day, but they make pickle chocolates on St. Patrick's Day. How crazy is that? But we have jalapeno flavored ones. We have just plain old regular like coconut stuff. It's a great place. Erving Chocolates. It's out in the middle of, I don't even know where. Erving, Mass. Erving, Mass.
So apparently it used to be a diner for years. And so folks would just drive along and assume it was the same old diner it had always been. So they painted it bright pink to show, hey, new everything, new management, new mission, new everything. And still occasionally they'll get someone who comes in thinking it's a diner.
The very last clip made me think of something else about this whole thing. Was all along this journey, it's the road. Like there's some highways now around it and all that, but Route 2, I think it is like the road. And it is a must go kind of fast, like 45 to 55. And pretty much any time we were going 45 to 55, someone wanted to get past. They were like, you are going clearly too slow. No matter what the speed limit was, they wanted us to be faster still. And so one of the problems in a kind of scenario like that is you're like, oh, look at that cute thing over there. You have to like get off the road at some velocity because there's cars everywhere. And you and I were both talking about what must it be like to live out a kind of a rural stretch. It's pretty to look at, but what would it have been like to live there? You don't have experience like that, do you? What was your spot of the Cape like?
So I grew up on Cape Cod in an area that was at the time very much like a summer destination and completely dead during the winter. So there'd be like some small percentage of the population that stayed the whole year round. And I mean, it was like a lot of stuff was closed, but the things that were open, you could park directly in front of. It was like that. The way that you see on Kojak, when Kojak, the old TV show, where he used to like get the spot right in front of where he was going. You could do that like 8 months of the year where I grew up. But then in the summer, you couldn't even drive down the street. Like a normal, what would take you normally 10 minutes would take you half an hour. Like it was just impossible to get anywhere. So it kind of enjoyed the change on either end of it. But yeah, I always looked forward to some of my favorite businesses opening. My first job was at a bakery when I was 13. I think I started that job and I kept it till I was about 23, every summer working at the bakery. So that was one of the businesses I looked forward to having open every year. I don't know. I liked it. Now, the age I am now and the way that my life is now, I could not live there where I grew up. It's very pretty, but I need to be closer to an airport for one thing. And I need to be closer to like museums and culture. And I don't know, I guess I like options more now than I realized. What about you? Didn't you grow up rural?
Our t-shirt vendor and incredible branding expert friend, Johnny Cupcakes Earl, asks, did you go to Dennis Yarmouth High School?
No, I went to Chatham Junior Senior High School, which doesn't even exist anymore because now it's regionalized with Harwich. We had so few kids. There were 35 kids in my graduating class, by the way. 35. So
Yeah, I went to North Andover High. We had like 270. I was dead middle. I look angelic. Oh, it usually means there's like some schmutz on my camera, but it's okay. Very nice glow. Thank you, Johnny. Good to see you come by. So yeah, that's it. We talked a little bit about some of Western Mass. We continue next week on our tour. We continue on our tour of little bitty libraries, and I will bring to you. You asked the question, where did I grow up? Well, I grew up in Maine, but then when I came down to high school, I went to Massachusetts, and I show in our next week's videos the place where I worked first, the Stevens Memorial Library, to continue our tour of libraries. And we have another one, about walking around Newburyport trying to capture the golden hour on this day where a storm just rushed in. We were like, it's sunny out. It's a storm instead. And what we managed to catch on that regards. And I'm going to show the intro video one more time because I want to see if people like it or not. Kerry doesn't seem to like it. I don't think you like it.
Together from clips of film made under a research program in computer. The images are arranged to illustrate this talk, which will be an attempt to suggest some of the formal problems that hold my interest regarding design in motion.
What do you think?
I think we have by now dozens of clips to choose from that actually have us in them. So I would choose some of those. But also the lawyer in me wants to know where that footage came from and who owns it and whether we're going to get into trouble.
That footage is public domain footage created in 1968. 60 millimeter film experience, public domain footage from Library of Congress.
Joanne agrees with me.
And Johnny agrees with me. Split.
I love Johnny. So first of all, I love Johnny. And second of all, I have an idea. And if anybody wants to weigh in on it, I think we should go back to the first library that you hung out in and worked in and do that segment. I realize it's a little bit of a trek, but I think it would be fun. So if anybody wants to see the library that Chris hung out in as a juvenile delinquent, post in the comments and I'll see if I can get him to make the trip.
You think so? Think so, maybe. Yep. We have a couple of things to do for you. We have a couple of little bits of episode. So that's interesting. It's good. It's good to have those things. All right. We don't have an outro because I only just barely made the intro. It's why I was late starting the show. All right. But hey, show's over. Good talking to you. Thanks everyone for coming by. Thanks for being part of Playtime. See you next time.